we're going to be talking about selling some crypto options, Nick, because you've touched on a little bit. Why don't you take everyone through the basics of this?
So let's go to the screen, and what I'm going to do, the whole idea behind options, and you can, just to kind of simplify this, LedgerX.com was purchased. It is a CFTC licensed exchange. They were purchased by FTX, which we all know FTX is marginally scammy, but this is the one thing they've done that is legit. And it is that they bought this exchange. It is to give them exposure. It's to give them legitimacy. But what I'm putting on screen right now is these are the options chains and with different strikes. And just to really quick explain this to people, what I'm basically looking at down the middle of the screen, if you can see that, those are the strike prices. And what they'll have is there's a little bumper right here that says 22 January 14th. What does that mean? That means these are the contracts that expire today. Okay. And so typically when you see that, you say, okay, they expire, I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern time, right? Or actually, they have to be settled by 4 p.m. Now listen, I am a net seller, not a buyer. I don't gamble on options. I don't really care. I treat Bitcoin as currency. Okay. In this account, there's like 6.95, we'll call it 7 Bitcoin. So what I do is I sell weeklies, monthlies, and yearlies, and I try to scrape some of that premium. Now I have an entry price, and let's keep it super simple. Eric, let's say you started and you had $44,000. Okay. Well, I would say, okay, I've got 44 grand right now. The way I would work my way into the space, and this is just kind of a common sense way of looking at the market, is I would look at next week's option chains. So this is all the expirations. So this is the 21st of January expiration. So this is next Friday. This gives me a week. Time equals money and volatility equals money in premiums. So I would say, okay, I got my 44,000. I can either buy Bitcoin right now, or I can sell puts at 44,000. Okay, this is how my mind works. I say, okay, I like Bitcoin and I'm willing to buy it, but you're willing to pay me between 1,700 and 2,400, meaning I will take that cash and I will essentially sell a Bitcoin's worth of cash. This is called a cash secured put. I will sell this put. They will take my 44,000. They will lock it up. Why? Because I have to be able to be put into Bitcoin at 44,000, no matter what the price. But I just got between 17 and 2,300. So probably we'll call it 2,000. I put 2,000 bucks in cash in my pocket. Now I could take that 2,000. I could sell more puts. I could take that 2,000. I could buy some Bitcoin, or I could just keep the 2,000 in cash. And next week, when we get to Friday, depending on what the price is, if nothing has changed and the price of Bitcoin is still right around 44,000, I keep the 2,000. And if the price of Bitcoin is less than 44,000, they're going to put me into Bitcoin, meaning they're going to tell me, take this Bitcoin for 44,000 like you agreed to. And by the end of the day, I'll see 1 Bitcoin in my account, right? That I bought at 44,000, but I still have my premium of 2,000. So I really got into that Bitcoin at 42,000. I got a discount. Now, if Bitcoin cascades downward, I still had to pay 44K. You say, oh no, you lose. Not really. Because today, right now, as it stands, I would be willing to spend that 44,000 on Bitcoin, right? So if I like Bitcoin at 44,000, I super like it for $2,000 less. Now, on the other side of it, if next Friday rolls around and the price of Bitcoin is $44,001, those options are going to expire worthless. They're not going to put me in at 44 when the price is actually higher, right? So those would all, and statistically, 90%, 9 out of every 10 options expire worthless. So if you know that 9 out of 10 of these things expire worthless, Eric, doesn't it make sense to you to be a net seller of options?
Yes. Honestly, I don't know, Nick. This is what I need to learn. So I'm listening to you.
So this is a little bit of game theory and mostly common sense. It's looking at people's incentives and what makes sense in a market. If you look at Bitcoin as a store of value, forget it's called Bitcoin. If you look at anything as a store of value, you say, I've got $100. If you can guarantee me in 12 months, for instance, Eric, what would I have to guarantee you against $100, like a rock solid guarantee to make it worth locking up $100 for a whole year? What would it take for you? 10%, 20%? What would be a number that you would feel comfortable?
Thank you for the choices, for the options. I would, to lock it up, assuming that I didn't need that money. I mean, I'd be happy with 10%, but the
Okay.
more the
Would
better.
you also be happy with, say, 25%?
Yes, I would prefer that, please.
Would you be happy with 35%?
Yes, sir.
Because that's what you're getting.
Got you.
Because
that makes more sense. Well broken down.
Yeah. So now we're looking out a year, and just so you guys know, where are the big premiums? Well, you get a lot bigger premiums if you sell a year out. You can sell the 50 right now, the 50K call. So now we're on the other side. We're selling calls. You could sell a $50,000 call against your $44,000 Bitcoin, and you're going to pocket about $10,500 in your pocket this second. And if this time next year, Bitcoin is over 50, they're going to give you another $50,000 for your Bitcoin. You say, oh my Lord. Yeah, because Bitcoin is at 44. So you're making the 6,000, which is another 15% on top of the 25-ish, 24%, 23%. So if you get called out next year, you made 44 to 45% on your money. And if you take any amount of money and you add 40 to 50% a year, in a few years, it's giant. And you're not so much gambling. You're letting other people gamble around you. And so this is why I say it should be part of your mindset to look into ways you can monetize these assets other than lending and staking.